Video, we are assembling the fairy pop-up cards. I'm gonna do all three of them in the same video because while my arm has healed some, it's only week 5 of my breaking my arm. So for me, this is the easiest way for me to get these videos done. I have completed the base of 2. You can see it's designed to look like a tree stump, and then there will be, the fairy house will sit on top. The panels are very straightforward, so I have already applied the 10 panels, and now I'm going to prep the base. I always do my base first. Well, actually, I start with the centerpiece for the file. Whoops. This is 2 pieces. They're already glued together. And then I flatten these. I glued these together last night so that they dry completely and I don't get the curving that happens when you use glue on paper. Okay, so these are already glued together. This is 2 pieces that are glued together. So now for the base, you're going to fold this down so that it's level with the top of the base piece, and then fold it back. It's going to create a 1/4 inch gap that we're going to glue down to the inside. This is the inside of your card. And then fold these flaps, so down, back, and then fold this up. So this is my broken arm. If you think it looks weird because it's kind of dragging on the table, that's why. It's a little bit harder for me to reach up to be in the view of the camera. Okay, so now we're going to glue these sections down. And I like to just hold it for a few seconds longer than I normally would, just to make sure it sticks well. It's another reason why I do these before I start assembling, because I want these to be completely dried. I don't want these tabs to pull up. And all of my children are home from school today, so if you hear any fighting in the background, it's just regular sibling rivalry. Okay. So that's how that base will be. We can set that aside. And now let's pull in all of our pieces. Okay. There is quite a bit of detail to a lot of these. And a lot of it you can leave off if you just don't want to take the time to put all the detail on. And I'll point those out as we go along. This little rectangular piece is the top of your chimney. I'm using some red ink on this. It also helps hide if you don't get things lined up completely right. It can help hide some of your mistakes. So then you have the detailed trim in the roof. And I'm just going to ink this a little. Oops. The middle and the youngest child are fighting in the kitchen. They fight constantly. The oldest, he's too mature for the fighting, thank goodness, and he typically stays out of it. But those two drive me crazy. So again, I apologize if you can hear them. My sister has told me that you can't hear them, so I shouldn't worry. So you can see the paper piecing is pretty straightforward. There's nothing too difficult. And we're just going to I like to ink the edges of my grass. And then we have the door, and the door has pieces that you can definitely leave off. If you don't care what that it looks like a wooden door, you don't have to do all these little individual slats on it. And I made the mistake and cut these pieces the same color as my grass. So I feel like I need to ink each one of these pieces so that it doesn't blend right in to the grass. So I will make my fingers an inky mess. And I'm going to go to this one next, the other end. And since this is a Cricut fairy house, you don't have to be concerned about having everything perfectly straight, because it will look good crooked. And this is designed just to have a slight gap. Okay. So there's nothing, I mean, it's a little bit time consuming, but I think the end product of this is worth the little bit of time you take to create this door. Oops. I need glue to make it stick. There we go. Then there are 2 more pieces. These just go across the door. And then you have a doorknob. So your grass, you put that down so that you can, your door goes just under it. Okay. Apply some glue. I do it just to where I can't see the yellow behind it. And now let's go ahead and glue this down and hold it up to make it a little bit easier for me to see. Okay. Now you have this piece here. This is the roof, the little awning over the door. And really, if you don't want to put this trim piece on, I think it would be okay, but I am going to add it. And then I'm just going to ink these edges a little. Apply this just over the door. And then the last piece is a window. Cover my ink so it doesn't dry. And if you didn't want to put this bottom trim on your window, you don't need to have this small piece there. Okay, so that is the center insert. And I'm gonna, because I've added pieces to it, you can see that my piece is already bowing. So I'm gonna slide this under here while we work on these other pieces. So you have 2 grass pieces. If you just wanted to have grass, you could just add the grass the way it is. But I do have flowers and I have a snail to add to the yard. So you've got 3 short flowers and 3 tall flowers. And then a snail. Okay. These little pickup tools, Pick Me Up from Silhouette. It's a great tool when you are working with these smaller pieces. When when I put on a very small piece, I apply my glue to the piece I'm putting it on, so that if I drop the piece I'm putting on, I'm not losing all the glue I've put on it. So these go together pretty quickly. Oops. I should have had some of these done. I apologize for that. Oops. Looks like I'm missing a center. Oh, I found it. Okay, we're almost finished. I'm so sorry, this is so boring watching me put together flower after flower. Okay, now we're going to pull in our base. Let me take one that's dried a little bit longer. Okay, so when you look here, you've got some slats, and you put your grass in one of them. And the center piece is for your big piece. And there are little tabs here on your grass pieces, so you just want to fold that. And you slide them in. When you turn it around, you can see how your file is going to be. Okay? So that's where everything is. So you can see here for your flowers, you want to kind of put them to one side. You have, I'm going to use the taller flowers in the back. And you want to be mindful of the edge here, like I wasn't. Scrap that off. Because you don't want it interfering with the card opening and closing. You'll just lose your little flower. And this one, I think I might glue behind. I'm going to kind of glue it like this. There we go. So you can still see that from the view, so that's good. Now for the top piece, I think I want my snail on this side. Yeah, I think I want them sitting in the grass. So change my mind there real quick. Just gonna glue him like that so he's in the grass. There we go. And then I think I might put one of my flowers here, right by the door. And you just don't want to go lower than this because this edge here sits on the bottom of the base there, okay? So slide that back in so we can see that when we open our card, we're going to do this one facing us. And we're going to do these two facing away from us, okay? And you fold this top piece all the way down, fold it down flat. Make sure your insert is right up against the base. We're going to put glue here on this tab. And I like to fold mine under. And I'm just going to hold everything down flat, make sure that's flat. And gluing there. Okay. See how that's going to work. Now this piece, this is the important piece for the workings of the card. This piece is going to be glued to the top and the bottom. And it is going to lift this top piece and this bottom piece together. So it's very important that you glue this top tab to the base of your piece, because otherwise this top piece of your card will not lift. And then we're going to glue, and you only want to put glue on the center piece. If you get it here and you fold your card over and shut it, it's not going to open because it'll be glued shut. Okay, so we're going to glue that like that. And now with our back piece, we've turned it away from us so we know that it's going in this way. The other thing that you need to be mindful of is that the edges of this piece are not hanging over the edges of the base, okay? And you just want to pull that down flush, put some glue on your tab. Again, I like to fold mine under. And glue that in place. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this tab up. We're going to put glue just on these two tabs. So I do it inside, I leave a border so that if my glue spreads, it doesn't spread outside of this tab. Then we're going to take this and we're going to glue this together front to back, okay? So you're just gluing the center base together. And you got to hold this for a few seconds because you've got a little bit of bulk with all these pieces in here and you want to make sure this sticks. So I'm going to open this so you can see that your pieces here are glued to the base and your center is glued in. Okay. And now you're just going to close your card up. And there is your fairy pop-up one. Okay. Now let's go ahead and pull in number 2. Okay, so again, lots of detail, but it really helps, I think, add to the cuteness of the card. I don't even know what word I'm looking for. Oh, I used textured paper. I had this one on there backwards. This is my textured side. So now I'm going to ink the other side. This little one is for your chimney. And I like to ink it in place too because it helps cover those cream colored edges. If I can get it in there. Okay. So the roof. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. This video is going to be incredibly long, even though it is for 3 cards. Put that in place and then cover some of our edges again, just to help blend it in a little. I like using black with red. It makes the red look a deeper color red. So again, this is 2 pieces glued together. I glued them together last night. You certainly don't need, a whole day. Actually, I was getting tired and I had to stop. That's the hardest part with healing a broken arm, is not being able to work as long as I'm used to working. Because my arm gets tired so quickly. Okay, so there's nothing really complicated. It's just a good bit of paper piecing. So this is the window to like your little kitchen nook. I like to think there would be a kitchen right inside this window. Here on the side. I'm going to bend these shutters up a little bit. I'm going to use my black on them as well. And I'm gonna glue my blue, my window color to the back. It doesn't matter which way you do it, but I'm just going to do mine to the back. You can do it underneath this white piece if you want. You could leave your window just brown, but I wanted to add the white trim to mine. So that's a piece you can leave off. You don't have to do the white trimmed window. And I'm only going to put glue on the round part. I'm not going to glue my shutters down. I'm going to apply them just like that. You've got a smaller window here that goes over your door. When I started seeing the versions of the small cards, my pop-up cards, it's, some people made that watering can tiny, and then they did a tiny hummingbird, and it got me to thinking, oh, fairy houses would be so cute. And then you could do those little accessories tiny, like you could do a little tiny flower watering can, and you could make a whole little village with them. That would be so adorable. So that's what got me thinking about doing, and even doing these smaller would be super cute. Making these scaled down. So again, let me just make sure that's gonna, yep, that's about right. So, and then there's the doors. So it seems intimidating when you see all those pieces, but it's really very straightforward. And there's nothing too difficult about it. I kind of want to center that under my window. And then I'm just going to put my grass on. My fingers are turning nice color of black. Oh, I didn't put my door down low enough. And it seems a little crooked. Oh well. Okay, so there is your house. And you have all these extra little mushrooms. You certainly don't need to use all of these. These are for garden pieces, like that one has flowers, this one has mushrooms. But just throw them together. I'm just going to throw mine together and see which ones I want to use, where I want to use them. Or if you know you don't want to use them, don't even bother cutting them out. I did not do very good lining that one, the grass piece up on that. Okay. And then this one also has a snail. The only one that doesn't have a snail is the strawberry. We'll do that one last. It has a lamp post, so I didn't do a snail. Okay, now I'm going to ink some of these edges to cover up my cream colored paper, at least around the top. And this time I'm going to do this an easier way. I'm going to do this while it's flat. And I'm gonna, so I think I'm gonna put a big one, whoops, here in the back. And again, you know, just mind the edge. Go over a little if you go kind of high, because you do have a 1/4 inch there. So this one is for the back. And I'm just going to do it like that. The one for the front, I just need to decide. I think I want my snail kind of over by the window. So I'm going to put him like right in here. Okay, and how many? I think I'm going to put a small mushroom by him. One right there. Okay, or maybe okay. So now pull over a base And we're gonna fold our pieces. Okay, again, the one with the two slats, that's where the big one goes in the front. And then we have this piece. So there we have it. You're gonna open it up. That one's facing us. These two are face down. Okay. I do this each time I put these together because just as soon as I think I have everything, I know what I'm doing, I wind up putting something in backwards. So I do that every time. I put them in so I can see them. I make sure that I'm thinking it through correctly, and then I glue down.
Are you gonna come with us to find that squeeze ball that she wants?
Okay, so I'm going to add some glue here under this tab. Again, this is what's going to lift the top part of your card up. If you put your card together and your top of your base is not lifting, you forgot to glue this tab. And I have done that. Okay. And then we're going to put this piece here for the back. And again, watch your edges. You don't want it hanging over the edge because it'll be right up against the base. If it's hanging over the edge, your card's not going to function properly for that either. You're going to wonder what in the world is going on. And if some of your measurements come out wrong and it's not working, just take your scissors and trim it off. I've had to do that before because I put a piece in the wrong place. So now, again, leave a slight border when you put glue on this so that you don't get glue in here. You don't want to glue this to this piece back here, because then it won't open. It'll stay folded shut. So now you're going to bring this over. And again, there's extra bulk in here, so you really have to apply some pressure to make sure these tabs are sticking together. Check the inside, so a little glue smushed out. So you've got your center here glued together. You've got these pieces glued to the bottom. And then just fold this tab down and let's close her up. Okay, and there is our mushroom fairy house. These are even cuter than I thought they would be. Now here's our final base and our final card. So let's just quickly prep the grass, and I'm just going to use black. It's just, black looks good on any dark color, I think, and my black is so faded. And I'm going to go ahead and do my leaves. Just so that I can do it while I still have this in my hand. Okay. And this one doesn't have a wood slat door like the other one. Probably would have been cute with one, but I don't know why I didn't do it. I am going to use, I have some orange here. I'm going to use this around my light to make it look like it's glowing a little. And on This white I'm going to use, okay, I do have my blue out. I'm going to use my super old blue. And I think, oops, I have one more green to ink. Okay, so let's take a look at our house. I have already glued my base piece together. You will want to pick a color for your base on this that will act as the seeds for your strawberry. Okay. A yellow, even black seeds on a strawberry, that would be cute. But whatever color you choose as your base is going to be the color of your strawberries, unless you create a piece to put behind this. I apologize for all the racket in the kitchen. I have my recording sign up, but the family does not pay attention. My husband is getting ready to take the kids. I guess I've convinced him to take them to the store. They've all gotten straight A's. I have a fifth, 7th, and 9th grader. I don't even know what grade my children are in anymore. 5th, 7th, and 9th grade. So I put glue on this, and I do want to ink this edge a little bit to soften it up. So I'm just stick my fingers in this glue and reapply it. They're distracting me in there. Okay. So then your hat just goes right into place. There we are. Ink a little bit to okay. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put my window on before I add the flower at the top. It's a little bit tight up there with the flower and the leaf, so I want to make sure. Okay, let me look at my flowers here real fast. There's a couple of different sizes. Okay, my leaf. So I have a leaf for the top, and I have a flower. I just created a line there so that it will pinch where I want it to. And I don't want to hide the curve in my roof because I think that's super cute. So I think I'll do it that way. I'm just going to glue that on there. Glue that. There. Okay. And now the door. This one's easy. It's just going to line up to the bottom of your strawberry. And then the grass will be in the correct spot. And put on your doorknob. And apply your grass.
Beth, you ready? Well, Michael, let's go. Think you can find him, was it?
Let's put together our lamp post. Finally. My husband thinks he has to play in the water before he's allowed to leave the house. So he's always messing with dishes or wiping a counter, and I'm right next to the kitchen. So that's what all the racket was. If you heard any of it, it was very distracting, but he has left. Elvis has left the building. I wonder if that's how people felt who worked for Elvis. Maybe that's why they always said that. Maybe he came in and he was like a storm coming through. Okay. So that will be on the front there. I am going to, as I see it all made, I'm going to add some kind of window here. I don't know if it'll be square. Oh, that's why it looks plain. Maybe not. I was thinking that that looked awful plain. And why didn't I have anything there? And I do. I have a flower top for my door. So nix that. I'm not going to add a window. I do have a flower top here for my door. Okay, that's better. And I have some flowers. Put these together very quickly. Not too quickly. And I had this big flower here that I thought would go here next to the house, but I'm not sure if I want to use that or not. So I need to take a look at everything before I decide on that. I should have checked to make sure my camera is still recording. I hope that it has not stopped on me. Okay, it is still going. I use my phone, that's all I have. And I don't have a lot of storage space. So sometimes I run out of storage space and it just stops and I am going on and I have no idea that it has stopped. So my lamp post will be on this front layer and it will be up here with a flower next to it. Yep. I think the lamp post turned out really cute. If you find that it seems a little flimsy for you, just cut another post and give it a little more stability. put a flower right next to mine. So there's my, and then I'm going to put these flowers on the back piece. Okay. And let's see if I like this or not. I guess I'll go ahead and use it since I made it to go here. I don't know that I particularly like it now that everything is done. It is cute. Okay, now pull our base in. And we have, this goes in the center. Oops. And you want this one here. And you know what, that flower should be on the other side. Hang on. I'm glad that I just used a tiny dot. That's better. And then this goes, oops, come on, slide in. Okay. So that one and there. Okay. Slide this in. Make sure we're not going over the edges. Push that down flat. Put glue on your tab. And glue into place. Okay. Now our centerpiece. Slide it all the way down. Make sure it's in there good. Very important, make sure you glue your tab to your base. This step right here is what ensures that the top of your base lifts up. It lifts up by being glued to this, okay? Now apply glue here at the bottom part. And again, we are only gluing these tabs to the base. And this enables the card to open and close. Now, for our back piece, just adjust it in there so that neither edge is hanging over the side. Put glue on your bottom tab. And glue down. Next step, looks like this is a little bit crooked. I didn't get that all the way down. We're going to apply glue just to the tabs. We are going to fold this up. Sandwich this together. Okay. Apply some pressure, make sure that's sticking. Take a peek inside. See that you are gluing your two tabs front and back together to your center post, and your front and back pieces are glued to the bottom of the card, okay? Then we're going to put glue on this tab and close it up. If you wanted a place to write something on the back, you could just change out some of these panels as blank panels, or you can write on the back of your center base. And then there is the fairy card 3. So we have these 3 fairy houses. Oops. Thank you so much for joining me.